when I smile.
I know you guys look absolutely spectacular. Just hold on because we're going live on YouTube, but you guys look great. And I'm just so excited to be with both Nick, and Doug. I know you guys look absolutely spectacular. Just
You talk about a play.
all right. So welcome, Nick and Nick. Congratulations on your bestseller day 1, but then officially bestseller in day 5. And Doug and I are so excited to interview and talk about Preemptive Strike. Like, it's huge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, a lot of labor and love went into this. So.
Yeah, we're pretty happy by it. We're humbled by its traction so far. God willing, we'll continue to be humbled by it because the traction will keep coming. So
yes.
Boy, Doug, you haven't heard the whole story, but Doug, tell Doug the story about how you guys met and how this all came together.
Sure. Okay, so this book actually was a script first. I wrote the script. Me and my producer team always had the notion of like we wanted to turn it into a novel, but I tried to do it. That wasn't going to happen. So we just prayed on it, and then Nick happened to be the manager at the gym that I go to, and the way it kind of worked out, I just having a personal conversation with him, and I asked him if he likes to read scripts, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a writer," and I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Actually, I'm a novelist." I was like, "A novelist?" He's like, "Yeah, I've written 15 novels and published 15 novels to my name." I was like, "You're kidding me." So over the course of the next few days, I went to him. I was like, "Hey, man, how much would it cost if we wanted to hire you as a ghostwriter to convert our script into a novel?" We negotiated a price. He was all on board. In the process of him ghostwriting, he got heavily emotionally involved with this story. And therefore, he did such a good job that we offered him co-authorship. So
yeah, they should have just kept me as a ghostwriter. Now they really stepped in it. But he's right. Yeah, I kind of got emotionally invested in the story and the characters and the message, and really enjoyed. I found myself really enjoying writing it because, you know, when you sit down to begin a project, which is writing a novel, you never know exactly where it's going to go. You never know exactly how it's going to pull you in. And sure enough, I was in all the way by the time I got halfway through, and so I was pretty thankful to be on board with it, and it went from there.
Well, and what we're trying to do with this project, like anybody's attached to one of the main purposes is to catapult careers. So like me and my producer team, when Nick coming on board, like I want to be able to incentivize people the best way, not with money, but like, how can I incentivize you for your career, you know? And Nick he's been a writer since he was 9. He's published 15 novels. He's got, I don't know, 3 or 4 sitting that he hasn't published yet. Yeah. And so I'm like, how can I, and he's never hit bestseller. He's never hit #1 bestseller. So I'm like, how can I help you when it comes to catapulting your career? And this is after we had already agreed to bringing him on as co-authors. So this is the first time he's been #1 bestselling author.
Yeah. Thank you. What I really like about Nick, and we've talked about this, and his team, is the way they approach marketing is sort of a cinematic marketing philosophy, which is different than the indie publishing marketing philosophy. They're very guerrilla marketers. Like they pound the streets and they hit the streets and they talk to people and they make, relationships happen every day, all the time. And so I was really intrigued by that. And I would like to say that they've learned half as much from me through this process as I have learned from them. And it's working.
We're all on a very big learning curve because the knowledge he had, we hired a publishing coach that has a high success rate of getting people to bestseller. And we took her knowledge, his knowledge, and our ability to market and put it all together. In 5 days, we had a #1 bestseller.
Yeah. Doug, what do you think about that? Could we have a bestseller, Doug?
It's almost like, I don't want to say make believe. It's like what you're just telling me is so dynamic, to happen so fast, and to impact that many people. It's, let me just say this. I've known a lot of people in the sports world that have written books, and most of them are crash and burn. And I even have a book out there. It isn't about sports or anything like that. It's about my life getting kicked around. And, I was one of those guys it didn't matter how you started, it was how you finished. And, you know, whether it was going from high school in Pennsylvania to Ohio State to the NFL, I mean, it was just a long, hard fight. I mean, every single day, proving your manhood. And, but, you know, what you guys have done is remarkable. I mean, to do it so quickly. And, you know, obviously you had a lot of stars on your team to get it started and then finish it.
I want to kind of call out my team. They're not, because we're all in different states. Me and Nick are the only ones that are in the same state. But my producer,
Texas, big old Texas.
Yeah. My producer team, that because they're the producers on the film, but they're also producers on this book. Like they've helped push out, market, and all that other stuff. James is in Tennessee. Katie's in Kentucky, and then Liz is in California. So like we're all over the place. And then me and Nick are here, of course. We've never been all in the same place at once.
Yeah.
But we're like family. Like,
wow. You guys must have a lot of Zoom calls.
Lots of Zoom, bro. Lots of Zoom.
It's really kind of interesting when I step back and look at this whole process, especially the way the book plays into it. You wouldn't expect it, because here you have two guys, one works at a gym, the other one comes into the gym.
A lot.
There's no association. And yet, once they get to understand each other, there's so much in common that they have so much mutually bringing them together, that here we have a bestseller, and we're continuing to work on this project. It points out the value of getting to know the people around you, because you just never know who's sitting in that office, or who's over there, you know, checking out the groceries, or who's grunting and screaming on the squat rack like this one here. You know, it's crazy.
He grunts more than I do when he works. So.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
We haven't known each other that long, because I used to be the manager of the gym, and he would come in as a client and work out with one of his buddies, and then, you know, the tables switched.
He never once had to tell me to be quiet.
No, they would just blare the music, and I would have to go turn the music down. Anyway, even though we just recently, I think we've been in this journey for about 3 to 4 months, maybe, since he started to ghostwrite the whole thing. He said he could get it done in 45 days. He got it done in 2.5 months, just saying. But he did get it done. Like, I will say that he's a man of his word. Regardless if that word is a little late, he'll get it done.
Listen, y'all, I just want to clarify one thing. I said 45 days loosely. That was the time frame I gave him, all right?
So when it comes to the way we bicker and fight, it's almost like we're siblings.
Yeah.
But we do it in a way where, like, we're calling each other. We had, you know, bickering fights today. I felt like I had to say something to him about our rankings 8 times before he understood what I said.
Clarity. It's clarity.
But we were able to walk around and say, okay, I understand. I was like, why are you making things difficult?
When in actuality, I was just making them simple. You see.
Oh my God. But we actually appreciate that about each other. Like, we're not getting mad at each other. We're collaborating loudly.
Yeah, it's part of the collaboration process.
So
you ought to hear us when we agree. You'd think the roof was going to fall, you know.
Yeah, it was a pretty good launch day, because I took the day off. My producers took the day off. He was at the gym, so I just spent the time at the gym, and during his downtime, we just sat there and we pushed the book. We ended up selling. We wanted to sell about 900 copies on day one, but you know, when you have 900 people committed to buy, and you send out a mass email, there's going to only be a fraction of them that actually do it that day.
Right.
But we sold.
I did it as soon as I got the email.
I know you're one of the loyal ones. We appreciate you. I think we sold 224 ebooks that day, and that got us up as far as number 2 in movie tie-ins, which is a really competitive category.
One of our categories.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, we were beating out The Terminal List, which is already the number 1 hit TV show on Amazon. We were beating out several Stephen King books. We're currently still beating out a lot of Stephen King books. We're still beating out a Star Wars book. The only reason they're number 1 is because they have their own category.
Wow.
Whatever.
Imagine that.
But that author is a New York Times bestseller. So, I mean, the book is doing great. And now that we got to the number 1 spot in I think it's human rights law category, it's the number 1 bestseller in that category. We just checked our paperback. We're #1 new release in paperback. And then I think we're also #1 new release in ebook, and depending on the category. But in those specific categories, we're beating out some really well-known authors.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story, guys. I really appreciate you guys because I never grew up with somebody. My first name is Doug, and I never grew up with another guy by the name of the same name. So people are going, "Hey, Doug! Hey, Doug!" You're turning around in confusion. You guys, were made together like ham and eggs. It's like you guys just hit it off. And like I said, I've heard of some guys having success writing books and stuff, but nothing like what you guys have done.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Again, we had to learn a lot in a very short amount of time. And we're approaching this as, if we're doing it wrong, let's change it. And so there's some stuff we changed in the middle of the first 5 days. And as soon as we made those changes, boom, we got up to #1.
Lots of trial and error. It's like Nick said, it's a learning curve. And whenever you have a learning curve as steep as this, there's going to be a lot of trial and error, but every step you take is a risk. You don't know whether it's going to work or not. The idea is take the step and find out. And that's where the trial and error comes into play.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn.
And let me tell you about just his ability to write. Like, he did such a good job with the book that I'm like, I want to incorporate a lot of this into the movie. So he took my script as an outline and made the book, but the stuff that and I gave him full creative liberty on the book. I'm like, just let me see what you got. And I was so shocked by it that now 1/3 of the script is his changes.
Wow.
Well, I will just tell you, my partner Skip in the entertainment world, where we do TV shows and movies, he read the script and said it was amazing. He loved it. He had a couple of suggestions, and now I can't wait to read the new script with the new changes that you've put in with Nick.
Well, no, I will say this: the one that he read is the one with Nick.
Oh, because he loved it. He said it was great. Yeah. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah. That's the one with Nick. I think Skip expressed to me what some of the concerns he had. The concerns he has will play out on the screen. They just don't play out well on paper, because I think he was just more worried because this movie has a sex trafficking aspect to it. So where the whole superhero aspect, they're trying to take down this major sex trafficking ring that's in Los Angeles. And the girls that get rescued at the end, he just wanted to know where they went. Where's the resolution there? And that'll play out way better on screen than it will on paper. But it did say in the dialogue, they were, met back with their families and stuff like that. So there was resolution there. It was just one of those, it's just, you're going to see it more than you will be able to read it.
Yeah. A lot gets lost in translation when it's on the page.
Yeah.
It's much better seeing it on screen. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. And I was kind of surprised. I'd never novelized a screenplay before. And the translation to screenplay to novel even is there's a lot of adjusting and playing with, and I call it plugging the holes. You got to plug some holes here and plug some holes there that might, because the screenplay may play out visually in a cinematic style, but when you're writing the book, that's not cinematic nor visual. That's
totally you're absolutely right. I totally get that. You can't make a script into a book. You have to fill in all the holes.
Yes.
And a script on TV or a movie or whatever you want to call it, the visual fills in those holes.
Absolutely.
But I think it's much more difficult to take a script to make it a novel versus a script to take it to a show. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. There are multiple schools of thought, and that is definitely one of them for sure. But I was really happy when he said, I asked him, how creative do you want me to get with this, Nick? How much are you willing to let me take this and run with it? And he said, dude, you have complete latitude. Do whatever you want to do. Yeah. So when the script presented me with one of those holes to plug in that might be this big, I turned it into something this big, man. I just ran with it. And if it created a new subplot, I would create a new subplot. But it really allowed me to add a lot of history and color, I feel like. So
well, the comments and the reviews we're getting, we had 10 beta test readers for the novel, and I mean, there's a commonality in I guess you could say in between all the reviews, and that's they say that there's all these different stories that are kind of like veined together, and they all kind of meet at the end. And they say it's written so well that you're not lost in one story to the next. You're waiting for how that's going to be resolved, and then it gets resolved, and then it all meets together at the very end for this big reveal.
Yeah.
And I would have to agree with all of them. Like, like, 'cause it definitely does that. He even wanted to go through a rewrite that would change a lot of the tones. And I was like, dude, no, don't do that. Like, all of our readers are loving it. And
That's where my latitude ended, basically.
What?
But given all the reader input, it was the right decision. Just leave it alone, let the story tell itself, and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say, and I don't know about Doug, I'm not going to speak for him, but I couldn't write like you write, and I'm a journalist at heart. I'm good at a 3-minute news report, but like how you wrote that, yeah, it takes talent. Right, Doug?
Yeah. Guys, I was just wondering, how long do you think it would take to get all the things put together and have a movie?
Oh, well, let me talk to you, Doug.
That's
Okay, so the movie, even before we got started with him,
Right.
is fully packaged and ready to go. Like, we're ready to go. All we need is the funds.
Wow.
Like, we've already got stars attached. So, like, we've already got the locations when it comes to like where we want to shoot. We're going to shoot in New Mexico and possibly Romania, so we can get the most back on the cash rebates.
Right.
And we're like, our entertainment lawyer is connected to his own studios, and he also knows how to get the most back on the rebates. Like, we've got it all set. We have good rapport with big name talent. Like, I don't want to say the name of the talent.
I was just going to say there's no NDA signed here other than me, so be careful.
Yeah. I'm not going to say the name of the talent, but I'll say his agent name. His agent's name is Brad Slater, one of the biggest agents in Hollywood. We have a good rapport with him, and we want to go after a couple of his name talents. And he loved it. Like, he saw the pitch deck, and he's like, they were interested in the whole project, but there was no funds attached. And so he's like, as soon as you get funds, come back to us. Like, all right.
Yeah, that's one of the things that impressed me about his whole crew, because I came in late. They'd already done a lot of the legwork when it comes to developing the story of the movie. But one of the things that impressed me was how right they seem to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the pitch deck, and it's professionally done, and they've got investors involved, God willing. But everything they do seems to be the right way to do it, and so that was kind of fun to see.
All you got to do, Doug, is sign an NDA. I signed the NDA. I've seen it, and you're right. It's absolutely incredible, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help them.
Brother, I will send you an NDA.
No, yeah. I would love to find out more. I really would. I think
we'll connect. We'll connect after this. I'll get you all the stuff. I even, like, when it comes to what he said earlier, like, you don't know who's sitting next to you. I went up to a random guy in the gym that I've been seeing here recently. I went up to him today because we're doing the whole guerrilla tactic of trying to get people to buy the ebook. My whole purpose was just to go to him to get him to buy the ebook, because it's only 99 cents. We didn't want to break everybody's wallets. We wanted to get the story out there, but we also had to make a little bit of money back. So I went up to him, found out that his business helps find funding for other businesses.
Wow.
And so I was like, y'all do film? He's like, well, we've never done that before, but it doesn't hurt to reach out to our contacts. And so I told him we were already fully packaged. So he's like, all right, man. As he was leaving, I was like, I look forward to seeing your pitch deck. I was like, dude, I'll see you by the end of the day.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, it's funny, you guys talking about your friendship, out of the gym. Some of my best friends are people that I met in the gym growing up, being at Ohio State or the Chicago Bears. I mean, those were lifelong friends. You know why? Because you were doing stuff, putting effort in everything you did. And you're not in a position really to make up stories when you're telling your friends or guys you're working out with. I mean, those are your buddies. Yeah. You're going to tell them the way it is. And and that's the way I remember it. And some of those friends, we see each other now. It's like we were never apart. You just develop a bond, last for life.
Exactly. Yeah, me and my other producer James. He's met James. James has been here a couple times. Like the first, I remember when James came in the last time. I got him straight from the airport, and we went straight to the gym. That's what we do. Like, when we're calling each other, I call the gym my office, because I'm like making phone calls.
I think every time I talk to you, you're at the gym. Honestly.
At the gym. Yeah, and it's not because I'm like, don't get me wrong, I love working out. I do think I have a healthy addiction to it, but it's when you field a phone call, that's a 45-minute phone call.
Yep.
So I'm at the gym for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
So-
the gym has got an interesting stereotype that I love the gym environment. That's why I ended up there. But the stereotype isn't entirely true. Once you peel down a layer or two past the dude bro stereotype, you actually run into a lot of people who have a lot of interests, and
Absolutely.
they don't talk about
No.
what you expect them to talk about. They talk about their jobs and they talk about
Right.
their interests outside of the gym. It's more dynamic than one would think.
Yeah.
At least that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it.
Well, Jim, I'm sorry, Doug, you have spent a lot of time in the gym.
Yeah, you know what? No, I actually didn't do anything till I got to Ohio State. And then I came to realization, oh my gosh, these are men. They had wives and kids.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything. I'm going, oh my, how can I compete against these guys? Then I saw them all working out in the gym and bench pressing 400 or 500 pounds. I go, man, I need to get my rear end in there now, fast.
Right.
And you know what? And I did it for years and years, even through it with the Chicago Bears. And I just pretended every time I was lifting like dumbbells, 100-pound dumbbells, they were people that I was grabbing Earl Campbell by the and I was going to throw him down. And I was just dreaming those dreams as I was doing these dumbbell cleans. And you know what? It was one of the best things I ever did in my life, you know, because it transitioned me from, you know, off season to the real deal, where you really are picking up somebody 200, 300 pounds and throwing them backwards. But, you know, I just think, I don't know, maybe some guys do a lot of BSing in the weight room. I don't know. The guys I was with, man, it was all down and sincere, you know, from the heart.
Yeah. Sincere is a good
Well,
word.
Doug, you gotta tell Nick and Nick the story about at your house, even though today at the age of 68, you walk by your dumbbells and you have to do sit-ups and push-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, I got.
No, listen, this is Doug. This is how Doug stays totally buff.
I got those bands. So everywhere I go in my house, the bedroom, the living room, I have to get into that room. I have to do 100, you know, sit-ups, 20.
Oh, nice.
20 dumbbells.
I'd never go to the bathroom.
100-pound dumbbells. So you know what? I call it the walk-by workout. You don't even realize that at the end of the day, you did one heck of a good job.
Yeah.
That's
a
wild.
good philosophy.
Yeah,
I'm not going to adopt that, but
yeah. I'd never go to the bathroom if I had to do every time I went into the bathroom.
You know what it is? Though? I always use commercials in movies. As soon as there was a commercial, I would run over and start lifting weights for 3 to 5 minutes, and then come back and watch the rest of the movie.
There you go.
The next commercial, go do more sit-ups, or you know, or push-ups, or whatever. My wife's going, "What the heck are you doing?" I remember there was an old Universal machine, you know, in our complex at Ohio State. I took that and put it in my apartment and attached it to the wall. I got rid of the couches and the chairs. All I had in there was that Universal stuck to the wall and a television.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, I feel like I should do this disclosure, Doug. Don't do this at home unless your doctor okays it.
Yeah.
That's true that.
Or your landlord. Just
Honestly, I would not want to live below me, because, you know, it would have had to sound like an earthquake. And,
right.
but you know what? I mean, you guys are amazing to mix all that kind of stuff with the success you had with this movie or you know, this with script and stuff. I mean, it to me, I just found out about this a few days ago, and I'm really anxious now to find out what you guys are going to do with it and how far you're going to go.
Yeah. I actually, I can tell you this. One of our stars that's attached is Kevin Sorbo. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
He grew up in Minnesota. I knew his sister because she was in the pageant world.
He did grow up in Minnesota. He told me he was I think a big Minnesota fan. So whenever he was doing Hercules over in New Zealand, the only time he was able to get a taste of home was because the Big Ten showcases or whatever on Saturdays would actually show on Sundays over there.
Yeah, so I know. I don't know him, but I know him through his sister, who she was cool.
He's now a friend of mine because he's attached. Since I'm the lead producer, he'll call me every 2 weeks just to get a checkup. But I just messaged him today because we're trying to do some press on the book, you know, get it out there. And I don't know if you guys know who Newsmax is, but they're a pretty big national news network.
Yeah, I know they are. Sure.
And I've seen Kevin on Newsmax. I was like, "Hey, Kevin, we finally hit #1 bestseller. Can you get us on Newsmax?"
Oh,
yeah.
And he's like, Oh wow! Congrats! Yeah, I'll contact my Newsmax contacts. Sweet. So
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
hopefully
waiting on
yeah,
that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be.
We
on
got to
the-
say, one thing about Minnesota people, we're Minnesota nice. We'll do anything to help. There's no
Hey,
doubt
he
about
is.
it.
Love it.
I love Kevin. Like hands down, like just one of the coolest stars I've ever talked to. Really, really down to earth. Wants to see
Yeah.
the project done. He's seeking out funding for us as well. Like it's just nice guy. Love him to death. And my director has worked with him before, and whenever we were bringing him on, he's like, I want to make him a bad guy. Like the character that he's playing. I mean, I don't know if I can cuss right now. He's a dick. Like he's an ex-Israeli mercenary that's just bad.
He's
like
bad, yeah.
So but I know Kevin will be able to play that very well.
All right, so you guys got to give a shout out. Like, so where do people go? I'll put it in the stream and stuff, but where do people go to find your book? What's the best way for them to buy it?
Okay. Best way or where to go to find it, we're on exclusively Amazon right now. Other formats are coming out later in the year. So if you go to Amazon.com and you can literally just search Preemptive Strike, it'll be the first one that pops up, bestseller. And then you just click on that. The format we would prefer you to buy is the ebook, and it's only 99 cents. So
Okay, so buy the ebook. That's why I bought the ebook.
yeah, buy the ebook. If you want to buy the paperback, cool, buy the paperback. That one's $10 though.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to break anybody's wallet whenever we did this. We wanted to be able to get the story out. I mean, obviously, when we get a little bit more notoriety to the project, we'll probably kick up those prices just to help fund the project. But that's what this whole book is for. We're taking pretty much, we're not making much money off of them, but whatever money we do, we're going to reinvest it back into the movie. This is technically what we call a transmedia project because it's more than just a movie or a book.
Well, and the benefit is you're going to have all these fans from reading the book that are going to watch the movie.
Yeah, that's
Which is
another
the
reason
purpose,
it's
yeah.
99 cents. We just wanna
100%.
get it out there for
Yeah.
as many people. Yeah, for as many
You're
people.
creating your tribe. You're creating your tribe.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many people out there because of inflation and stuff like that they're just, we didn't want to be like, oh, we're broke, we need money. We're like, look, we'll be taken care of whenever the movie gets funded. This is something we're just going to do to get it out there. We couldn't go below 99 cents because Amazon wouldn't let us.
Well, yeah, I don't even know any book you can buy for less than 99 cents.
Right. Unless you just want to put it at free. You can put it at free, but we also needed to be able to make some of the money that, we've put into it. We need to make some of that back.
Yeah.
So 99 cents doesn't break anybody's banks. We've actually had a financier, like a friend of ours who's pretty well off. He's spent about close to $200 gifting the ebook to other people.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. So
That's a great idea. I've never even thought of that.
Yeah, so as long as you have their email, there's a little button that says buy for others. You click that, it'll let you put in an email address. And as soon as you hit done on that email address, or you can copy and paste all your emails, it'll calculate how many emails you have, $1 a piece. And then you just pay for it. It shoots them an email with a link. They just redeem it through that link.
Hey, Doug, we could have a book and then we could gift it to everybody and be a bestseller in a day.
Yes,
No,
there we go.
that's an Amazon encouraged thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's a
Seriously,
great way to
Doug,
market your book.
Between all the people, me and we could just gift it to everybody and be a bestseller.
Yeah.
That's
Now
a strategy, for
here's the kicker when it comes to that. It'll count towards your sales, but it won't count towards your sales ranking until they redeem it.
until they redeem it. Yeah. So be sure they redeem it.
Yeah. So
And,
just
yeah.
make sure that all the emails you send, those are people that actually want to get it
Okay.
out to.
So I just want to say to all of our viewers and our fans out there of Sports and Shopping Podcasts, that tip that Nick and Nick just gave you, if you have a book going out, that is absolutely huge what they just told you. That's a massive tip.
Yeah.
Note to self, write it down. If you have a book coming out, gosh, that's a huge tip for people to know.
Also,
Yeah.
through this whole process, we created a new publishing company called Into Books, because Nick and Nick, so Into Books. And we want to create a platform for, say, people like Doug, people who have probably a great book out, but they haven't been able to get the bestseller. We have a way of doing that.
Wow.
And we're not in it to make the money, but we want to create a different type of revenue stream for the publishing company to where we can get those talented authors to bestseller, and we don't charge an arm and a leg to help them do it. You know what I mean? And so then they get to the bestseller tag, and then we get just like a small percentage on the back end of their royalties.
Yeah. It's
That's a great idea, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, it's been such an honor to have you with us, and Doug and I totally appreciate it. And I know Doug's totally enjoyed listening because Doug is an expert.
Oh, my mind is thinking all the time.
I know. I'm just going to say, he thinks constantly.
I've been a garbage man, and I've been a contractor and a loan originator and real estate. I like everything, adult care, season care for a seasoned elderly. I want to try to do everything I can before I die. And, and I'm in the fourth quarter right now. I have no misgivings about that. I know how old I am. There aren't many people above me. So
let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Well, no, I would, I'm waiting for the day that Doug calls me when he turns 70 and says to me, I'm going to law school.
Do it.
That's awesome. That's a
Oh,
book.
well, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to put all of your links in our stuff, and I wish you so much success. And I will do everything in my power to help you guys. You're spectacular, Nick and Nick. And thank you for the time that you've given us. Doug, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I've got a book out there that nobody wants to read, and these guys I'm looking at right now are the answer.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna hook you up.
Let's talk, bro.
The movie in 30 days.
I'm gonna hook you up.
Let's talk, man. We've got a machine ready to go.
There's a way to do it.
Oh, I'm gonna hook you up. All right, you guys. Seriously, thank you. God bless you, and thank you for all your hard work, Doug. Always awesome to see you. And Doug, I will see you on Sunday after I pick you up from you announcing that game here in LA, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, nice.
Nice. That'll be good. That'll be cool.
It'll be super
Thank
fun.
you.
All right, Nick and Nick. Congratulations on your success, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.